Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey,
Good evening.
back for another episode of Vintage House, the COVID-19 epidemic podcast. I don't like to put it that way, but you know what? It's all about COVID right now. We're going into a second phase and we're
Yeah.
all still locked down. We're not back in the studio, which usually we are in WNUR 89.3. Let me give you one benefit of COVID for tonight is that we have Rhonda Flowers in the house. And
Yeah.
why is that? Why am I why am I attributing that to COVID-19, you might ask? She competes with us on Wednesday nights with her parties. So it's the first time I think in many years we're able to
Right.
get you. Rhonda, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you.
Of
It's a
course.
joy to be here.
Rhonda,
Oh,
you have a three-hoster. You have a
yeah.
three-hoster.
See, we
You
were
are
all so
so
excited.
important.
You got everybody.
I know, like
Right.
it's normally not all three of us, but all of us, connect with you in so many ways that we all had to be on this podcast today. So thank you
Oh,
again.
thank you. Thank you. Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for
Thank
asking
you.
me, and I am here.
How you doing? I mean, I know there's a lot going on. So just how
Yeah,
are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It seemed like it was a little rough in the beginning. I wasn't sure like what was really happening or if anything was gonna go back to normal. My life had changed because I was always doing something related to the party industry,
Mm-hmm.
and then it
Mm-hmm.
just stopped. Like whoop, it just stopped, and there was nothing else there, and there was nothing else I can do. I remember 2 weeks after we were on the lockdown, my family said, "Wow, you've been home for 2 weeks. This is the longest that you haven't had a party in 20 years."
Wow.
And I said,
Wow.
wow, I didn't even think about it like that. Well, I guess you're right. So yeah, so now, but I've adjusted,
Yeah, yeah.
everything is good. I had started doing some other things finally, I started
Oh,
writing, I started sharing my food and cooking,
Oh
so
yeah.
and then I'm working on a few other projects that I'll let you all know later on down the line. you
Yeah,
know
you're not gathering any moss here. I have noticed that. We're gonna talk about all those entrepreneurial endeavors as we go throughout this nice long talk. But before we get into that, let me recognize my co-host today, Lauren Lowry, who's producer extraordinaire of Vintage House, and Kevin McFall, aka Mega, who also hosts Vintage House, the philosophical edition. So, hey, before I start with all my questions for Rhonda, I thought I might let you get a word in because I got a lot to ask her.
Oh.
It's good to see you, Rhonda, and
Thank you, Kevin.
we want to know. I'm sure, in addition to just me, we want to know what the virtual house pub crawl is going to look like in the
Ooh.
next 2021.
Now, see, I was hoping there wouldn't be a virtual pub crawl in 2021. I was
Okay.
hoping that we would be on the bus and going to the
Live
club.
in place.
That's what I was hoping. But if we are not, then I think it's gonna look something kind of fancy,
Mm-hmm.
something futuristic, it's gonna be like the Jetsons, so to speak, I would think. And it would be multiple cameras in different places to give us the illusion that we are bouncing from venue to venue to venue, because that's the only thing that I can see doing. So I would have to simultaneously put all 12 venues on at the same time.
That's hot, and that's a great vision.
wow.
That's my vision. So that's the only thing I can do for that. So
Look
stand by.
at you. Yep, you've been thinking about it, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And
Thank you.
hopefully, there won't have to be virtual, but I'm glad there's a vision for it.
Right. But it sounds so cool. I may have to do both, right?
Oh,
You guys are getting ahead of yourselves here. We got that's down the road. We're going to talk about that.
well, I had to ask that question because last time we had invited Rhonda to the show, I think it was around that time, and
and I was swamped. Yeah.
So that's it for me. I'm going to kick back and enjoy the conversations that
That's it.
are coming. I'll find a way to eke in there.
Find a way to eke in there. Okay, very good. Well, Rhonda, listen, we want to know Ronda Flowers from the beginning. We know you as extraordinary, one of the biggest, best promoters in the city. You've been in the game for 30 plus years. In the party scene. I know many more years before you even got to the party scene. But where did this start? I mean, what neighborhood did you grow up in?
Well, for the most part, Chatham. I would say Chatham. Okay.
So you're a native Chicagoan?
Yeah, native Chicagoan.
Where'd you go to elementary school?
Ruggles, Martha Ruggles, 78th and Prairie. I lived across the street. And that, so in about 1977 was probably when I first started throwing my first parties.
Were you in elementary school when you started throwing your first parties?
Yes.
Isn't that wow.
I had the pluggers, on the index card, the who, what, when, where, who, what, when, where. Well, we all
remember those.
So you had the time and everything. It was $1 to get into my parties.
Oh, word.
I would go to the school and I'll give everyone who I wanted to come to my party an index card. So they'll know that I was having a party. I had a DJ on the bar. I sold drinks and chips and chili and pickles. Pickles was my first entrepreneurial business. I actually sold pickles at school. So everyone who bought pickles were, of course, invited to the party. So I got your money from the pickles, and I got your money from the party, and then I sold you a can of soda and a bag of chips. And if my dad cooked chili, I sold you a bag of chili.
That's hysterical.
In the basement, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't house music though. It was more.
Yeah. What were you listening to? What was the DJ playing?
And R&B. Slow dances. I mean, everybody wanted to slow dance. Everybody wanted to grind. People were up on that wall waiting on the cute man to ask him to dance so they can, get their grind on. It was all about grinding back then.
Yeah.
Holding up the wall with the black light and the incense going. It was hot.
Oh my God. That completely surprised me. I didn't know we were having that kind of party in 1977.
I was having the parties, honey.
That's hysterical.
Party,
you mentioning the one thing that it seems to be a refrain with many of our guests, which is that they had supportive parents who kind of helped to enable their artistic endeavors.
Right. Yes.
Would you count yourself among those folks?
Yeah, I would. Everybody was real chilled in the 70s. It was, parents were right upstairs, the bathroom was upstairs. So you had to go upstairs. You had to speak to the parents. You had to say, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Flowers, and go to the bathroom and come on down. So everybody was very respectful, never had any problems. And, it could have been a couple of other parents upstairs, and everything. But it was cool. It was cool. I liked it. And then from the party scene, and I did a lot of parties, because the money was so good back then. At least I thought,
remind me again, excuse me for interrupting. You were in elementary school.
I'm an 11-year-old child, 1977.
And you were making money as a kid.
The same amount I'm making now, honey.
No.
No, but yeah, I was making money. It was $1 per person to get in. So, I had about 60 friends.
That's amazing.
So that was good. And then they all bought, everything was cheap though. It was 25 cents for a soda, 10 cents for a bag of chips, So it was great. It was a great little business to have at a young age before I made it to high school. So I could go and spend my money on some other junk, and go to
Right.
the bingo parties, things like that,
Where'd you go to high school?
Kenwood. Well,
Of course you.
my freshman year, well, let me back up. My freshman
Okay.
year, I go to Academy of Our Lady, which we know it
Okay.
as Longwood. So I went
Longwood,
to
right.
my freshman year because back then I had to go to the schools in my neighborhood, and we had moved from Chatham to West Chatham, maybe. I don't even remember. But I had to go to Simeon or Hirsch or somewhere else. So my father was like, nah. So I ended up in Longwood for my freshman year. Then I moved back to South Shore, and that's when I transferred to Kenwood, and I got into Kenwood in my sophomore year and graduated from there in 1984. The best year in the world, 84.
84 was a very interesting year. I do like to unpack what happened in 1984 because it was a busy year. What do you remember that stood out for you other than your graduation?
Oh, in 84?
Uh-huh. What was happening?
In 1984,
So when we talk about finished house, there's a lot that was jumping off.
There was a lot of houses. I mean, in 84, we were housing it up, from 80, I think 82, 83, 84, we were really, really, really housing it up.
We were housing it up, house culture and house canon, because that's when the first records, started to be, or tracks or records, however there's an argument about whether it was a record or a track. Like Your Love was not a record, but it was a track that was being played in like 1983.
Real to real.
Exactly. But
exactly.
Alonda Gregory, yes, house anthem. So a lot was happening. Oh gosh, that was a tough year.
That was a good year, and even 83, the whole
BMX,
backyard parties and the the house parties. I mean, when I say house parties, in the house, inside of your home, was a big thing. That was awesome. You had the smoke outs, you had the house music parties, you had the backyard parties with the kegs of beer, with the Gills beer that never went flat. You had all of that. Everyone smoked marijuana.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me back you up for a second.
Now it's legal.
I know you had some good parents, but was it like that?
I know. It was like that, honey. I mean, that's how I became a promoter in 1989 on the house scene, was because of everything that I've done from 81 through 85, 86, 87, was that house party in your house, that party in your yard, and but the smoke outs, I mean, who didn't go to a smoke out? If you didn't go to a smoke out, you haven't gone to a party. If you were in high school and you didn't go to a smoke out, then you missed.
Girl, you make me feel like I missed a lot.
I know. Take me inside of the smoke out. What was
I want to know more. Obviously, I wasn't in the room where it happened.
So,
my parents had me on a leash. I couldn't move.
I know. I'm looking at you, Lauren. Like, did we go to smoke outs at Lindblom? I don't think Lindblom had smoke outs.
Man,
I think we might have missed it.
That was back when you just had good music playing. I don't even remember I can't remember if I even had in a smoke out a DJ. No, but we had music. You put your tape on and you had your music going. People come in, everybody had their bottles, their smoke, they sit around and kind of like and you find your space. You have your space in this place, and then you sat back and you enjoyed it and you relaxed and you had a good time and you smoked and you ate and you talked.
Where were you doing this?
That's what I'm saying.
In the house.
in your parents' house?
Well, yeah, you live with your parents. You're like in high school.
I don't know if you was like maybe college, but at my parents' house, I don't know.
Chips, like my mom wasn't having it.
I know. Okay.
Yes. You all didn't go to smoke outs? I mean,
apparently not. We're all looking stupid. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We missed out.
I thought that was just gonna last forever. That's when you have your Gills beard and never went flat. Your friends come over. You know, everybody was in someone's home, so it was you felt safe. You know, you weren't at a club, you weren't at a party. You got dropped off. You're gonna get picked up. You didn't have to drink and drive. It was the best thing ever. And you just high over some good old marijuana.
You know, Candace said Lim Bloom didn't have them. We didn't have them, but they attended them. I don't know. I must have missed that. Maybe I was too old for.
So I did these smokeouts, and I did the backyard
hosted them.
And I did those, and those were great. So I guess that's where I pretty much probably got my popularity.
Clearly, Iris was hosting them. Celeste said she had them at the Point and at her house.
At my house, yeah. In the backyard and all of that.
Hill Smokeouts were the bomb. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Smokeouts.
So, Lauren, we got to add a chapter to our book on smokeouts because I'm learning a whole lot.
No, since the pandemic, I'll just have one. I'll just do another smokeout, okay? We'll just.
I think we need a smokeout. I think we need a new 2020 version of the smokeout.
Now,
let's bring it back.
I don't know how we're gonna do that yet.
Smokeout.
Is some of the allure gone because legalized cannabis consumption now, or are we?
Yeah. So we're all good.
Yeah,
we're all good.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move it. I wanna move. I know I'm kind of stuck on the smokeouts, but because I think it's hysterical that there's something that's been brought up on the show that I've never heard of before.
No one's ever said a word about a smokeout. No one was taking pictures or videos at this smokeout. So
clearly not.
I can't corroborate stories on that.
No one did that. You know what did we have back in the 80s? The portable cameras.
Some Polaroids,
right?
Polaroid. Yeah,
that's good.
It's like this. If you weren't there,
you just weren't there. You just missed it. All right, so you did the basement scene, Rhonda, and then you
because I did so many of them, and it's so hard for me to. Maybe it was a high school thing. Maybe it was a Kenwood, Whitney Young. Lim Bloom thing, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I had a huge in South Shore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but the cool thing was everybody was always quiet.
Rhonda, I was curious. Did you
like something in a movie?
Did you have something? Did you move beyond the index cards to help promote these smokeouts, or was it all word of mouth?
Two different times. The smokeout was high school. The index cards was elementary school.
So how were you promoting these smokeouts?
Oh, I call at people. I call my friends. Come on over. I'm having a smokeout.
So we were just talking about there were no artifacts in terms of.
Yeah, you open up your black book, honey, and you just go down your book and you flip it and you tell people to come. That was the best marketing ever. Yes.
And what you got there, Kevin?
That's my red book.
Because if there was any other way at that time, you would have had too many people.
Okay, we just were told you had to be invited to the smokeout.
You are invited.
Lauren, we weren't invited to the smokeouts because we were square.
Maybe because I didn't have your phone number.
Oh man, I feel so left out right now.
And the cool thing
I thought I was everywhere.
Come over and not let them know really what you were doing. Get out, there's a party going on over on this. No, just come on over. What are you doing? Come on over.
Okay, Vince, it's funny. Were you at the smokeout, Vince?
No, he's a Kenwood dude.
Oh.
Okay, and Arla said she ain't never seen you smoke.
It must have been pretty dark in there. My assumption is.
Arla, I can have many jokes about like the Christmas tree jokes and all that. Somebody tells them, but they don't celebrate Christmas. I just said I gave a party, Jerome. That's all I said. You feel me, Captain?
Alan was with me. He was 2 square too. Thank you, Alan. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was just like, damn, I done missed out on a whole lot.
I've had my days of smoking. I mean, woo, you know.
Okay, and Rita said y'all used to meet up on Leon's at 63rd. Was there a smoke out at Leon? Was that just
No,
smoke?
that was after you smoked.
The Bucky's after party at the Leon's.
After party.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Leon.
Okay, Vinny. Okay, you can remember one particular. Okay, we're going down this whole. We're gonna spend an hour talking about smoke out. Okay, so
Vinny,
we had our. Go ahead, honey.
Smokeouts, right?
Vinny, Vinny, were you at the smokeouts? Yeah, he's trying to stop Celeste from busting him out here. So, Vince, let me tell you about Vince, okay? Because there was a short time when Vince was at Kenwood, and I was living in Hyde Park, and me, him, Eric Franklin, not Eric Franklin, Eric Eric Knight.
Eric Knight, girl, that was my sweetie pie.
Yes, and Rock. We had plenty of our own smokeouts in Hyde Park the summer I lived there. So, yeah, but I wasn't invited to any of those parties. Anyway, okay, let's get off of that. Let's cross over. I want to talk about Rhonda's college days now. So you had smokeouts. You went to and you were raising money. You used the money that you raised from your parties to help you with school.
That's right.
How did that work?
Well, there came to a moment. I was in college. I think my junior year, and
what college was that?
I went to DePaul University at first. Then I transferred to Columbia College.
Columbia.
So majored in television production.
Okay.
That was my major, behind the scenes.
Nice.
So I ran out of money. Shit, I didn't have any money. And, and then Charlie Matlock said, "Hey, Rhonda, I got this place. You want to have a party?" You know, I said, "Sure, Charlie." Now, Charlie and I lived a block away from each other.
Okay.
During high school, I met him on the bus stop my freshman year when I was going to Longwood. He was going to Kenwood, and I met him on the bus. So then after that, when I transferred then we just became friends. And then I eventually went to Kenwood. But I'm sure Charlie may remember my smokeouts. But
I'm sure Charlie Matlock remembers your smokeout.
He said, "I don't remember anything right now. Party. You want to have a party with me?" And I said, "Sure, why not? I'll have a party with you." So it turned out to be at the Edge of the Looking Glass, 1989.
Okay.
89 is where I could say the house music industry for me started.
That's sweet.
89 at the Edge of the Looking Glass on a Sunday night.
Where was that?
13th and Wabash.
Oh, so Edge of the Looking Glass was, I probably went there, I don't remember, but it was right in the house music row, kind of with a lot of like first impressions and music box. Yeah. All that stuff was over there. Playground. I think they were all there.
They weren't even a club. It wasn't even a club. We just made it into that. But it was some type of artsy fartsy place that some young hippie people had, And so we started doing parties there, and it was awesome. We had live entertainment. We had entertainment from out of town. I remember a group coming from Detroit. I remember Kelly Lewis.
The Loft, of course. Sorry, Alex.
Kelly Lewis band, Ramsey Lewis's son, his band coming in playing, and that's when everybody played there. I think. And
you had DJ James Vincent, Ron Trent, Andre Hatchett, and of course Charles Matlock. Those were your first few DJs. We don't hear much about James Vincent, huh?
James Vincent, because he was
one of our. We don't hear much about James.
JV Morgan, James Vincent.
Where is James? Go ahead, Lauren.
He's busy. JV keeps everyone busy.
He ain't been on our show. We got to get him on.
We moved to New York and then came back. But he was our partner. It was me, him, and Charlie. Yeah,
I've got a great story about Edge of the Looking Glass, and I'll send it to everyone. It's actually it should be on our website too. I'm sorry.
Did you meet your husband there as well?
Me? No, I didn't.
Everybody had somebody at the edge of the looking glass. I had 2 people that got married from the edge of the looking
At that vibe.
Wow.
Who got married? That is nice.
Oh,
That is really interesting.
You're not gonna tell? Okay. Because they're not, are they still married? No. Okay.
Yeah. Well, one of them
Okay.
one of them is, I don't know what the other, I can't remember about the other one.
Well, about a couple years ago, I'm reading this article in one of the house music magazines, and this major European, I think, person of African descent who is a creative director at Yves Saint Laurent, at some of the major fashion houses in Europe, she credited the edge of the looking glass for her inspiration back in the day. I'll send you that article. It might be on our website.
Wow.
I think it is on our website. So one of the websites, check it out. I immediately sent that to Charles. Charles was freaking out. I mean, it was a top of the line designer, still a real big part of the fashion industry right now, who just spent a summer in Chicago or something like that, kicked it at the edge of the looking glass that summer, and literally says that was her inspiration for fashion in the day. So the impact that house music has, that clubs like Edge of the Looking Glass have, that you had, are really, sort of globally impactful. I mean, that just blew my mind when I read it.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you.
I think you can never underestimate the impact that you have by pulling together people. I mean, it's an act of love, and I know it's a business for you. I know, but I know where it came from. It came from you wanting to sort of fulfill a need for yourself and for your friends. Even the smoke out parties. Now I even messed up the name. What was it called? Smoke out. Okay, was it smoke out parties? I'm so square. I'm going to a smoke out party.
That would not have worked.
Everyone didn't smoke. That was just the name of it. That was just a cool name, and know that you're just gonna hang out with your friends at someone's home.
I smoked. I just wasn't invited.
And that was the drug, I guess, was the, we didn't drink as much then.
That's true.
No one walked around drinking. I mean, you drink more now as an adult, but young, we weren't into drinking, falling off.
I think that's a difference in like sort of the young Black people, especially who came out of the house music parties. Like it wasn't about 40 ounces or getting drunk or whatever. I mean, I know that happened. It was really about the party. It was like people just had this, there are people who did weed and stuff, but even that was like, it wasn't the predominant need.
Right. I mean, you're lucky to have a keg of beer at the party. You know what I'm saying?
Jakarta cigarettes were
Boone's Fine Wine and Jakartas and Bajarums and all that.
Yeah, Bajarum.
Remember Rush? Do you remember the Rush?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, there you know. So.
Kevin's like, no.
Yeah. You remember that?
No. I mean, I didn't do it, but.
Oh, okay.
The clove cigarette was about as far as I went.
The clove cigarette was not a drug. That was like a seasoning that we smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Rush.
Come up with anything to smoke. This interview has really just enlightened us in so many different ways. We have never had the discussion on all the drug activity, the grinding activity. This is interesting.
Well, yeah, we talked about punk out.
Drugs, not really drugs.
Part 2.
Weed don't count. Weed does not count as a drug.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so listen, so we're in college. We're not going to get through this, but we might have to do 2 parts.
Let me see what's happening with me in college. I'm in college.
Wiki sticks. Hold up. This guy's like a music box with Drug City. Wiki sticks, don't front, tons of stick smokers. All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And Simone, Celeste, okay.
Thank you, Celeste, for validating the clove cigarette.
Yeah, I use them on my ham. That's about it. But
I remember when I was 16 years old and I got drunk off of some Richard's Wild Irish Rose.
Of course.
I had no idea what that was, and I was drinking it because it was sweet and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my girlfriend's sweet 16 birthday. And I think I didn't drink after that for a good 2 days. No.
We were hanging on that time frame.
Work that out quick.
Oh, that was something though. Okay, so I'm in college now. So I'm in college. I'm doing my thing and trying to find my way. Who am I? What am I going to do? The party scene is going and going and going. And it just kept going and going and going. And then it went from the edge of the Looking Glass to the whole north side of the city of Chicago.
Okay.
Talk to us about some of those clubs. When did the Edge leave, and then where'd you go?
Oh shoot!
And
right after the Edge, I want to say at the Tracks. It doesn't even exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to uncover.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we went everywhere. We went everywhere and anywhere a club will let us come in and have an event. And it wasn't easy though. It was not easy to convince a club owner to let house music into their clubs, especially for a weekly event. You know, the house music scene, they don't drink as much. They're not the bottle service. And then they just weren't really hip to, who are you? This Black girl coming in here from the South Side trying to have a party here up north. Why should I let you have a party? You know, who are you? You know? But then eventually one lets you in, then the other one hears about you, then the other one hears about you. And then it came to a point where, you know, you don't really have to go anywhere. They ended up calling you. Hey, I got a night. Come on by. I can do a party. Come check it out. You know, my boy got a place. You want to check it out? So I was like, cool. So it was kind of like that, you know, because everybody wasn't, you know, the North Side, they're okay with their competition, although they're in competition with each other, but they're still okay with it. So, you know, so it worked out. But we've done things like at Cairo's. Cairo always sticks in my mind because that's the only time I ever had to go to court to countersue a club, sort of, kind of. You know, he tried to sue us, you know, so we're going to get you back, you know, because they never think that because you're young and you're Black that you don't have the resources to go to court and maintain an attorney and then go to court every week after week. You know, they spend thousands of dollars trying to sue Charles and I for an event that we had a contract on for a bar guarantee. But what happened was there was an incident that happened the week or two before our event. So the club owner wanted to cancel. So we went to court to the judge because we had already invested into this event. It was a big Thanksgiving Eve event.
Oh yeah, busiest night of the year.
Wednesday, you know. So
yeah.
So we're like, no, dude, you can't back out on the event, you know. And then the cool thing was my partner at that time, Charles, was in law school, so Charles knew the lawyers. So we're like, you can't renege on the deal. We have a contract. So he said, no, we're not gonna have the party. And so Charlie's like, we're gonna go to court. We went to court, and the judge said, you have to honor this party. So the club owner's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna honor the party. Yeah, okay. So the night of the party, he turns away anyone who had on a pair of blue jeans.
Oh my God.
That was 90% of the crowd. Everybody. He sabotaged the party.
Yeah.
So then he comes back and says, oh, you didn't make your bar guarantee. Well, shit, no kidding. You know? He said, I'm going to send you. I said, well, we're not going to pay it. You turned away our people. He said, well, I'm going to take you to court. We said, okay, take us to court. So everybody that didn't get in because they had on jeans, we had them sign a document stating that they were turned away.
An affidavit.
And the dress code was not in the contract. So we went to court again and again and again and again. And I remember that had to be, I think we went to court in 1996, between 96. I think I was pregnant. So that was 97. Yeah. Wow. Something like that. But yeah, so that took me to Cairo. But before all of that was, you know, all the other parties that have closed down. But you all pretty much remember the whole sidecar. Fuse, and it was called something else before Fuse on the second floor.
Where's Fuse?
Fuse was it on Clark, right off of Chicago? I think Fuse is Ice Bar.
Right.
Ice Bar. Oh yeah, on Clark. Yeah, on Clark.
On Clark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across from Zed 451 now or something.
So Rhonda,
it was Karosh.
Oh yeah. Remember that?
Rhonda. A million loft parties. We did a million loft parties. You know, I probably can't even remember all the parties that we've done. I mean, we've done them. You name them, I can probably tell you. You know,
and they all have a story. Like I bet you could do a book.
Alan King was my DJ sidecar, and Greg
long list sidecar.
You know, Andre Hatchett was there, so it was Andre. You know, Linda says, yeah, sidecar. Sidecar was the shit. I mean, we love. Before it was called sidecar, it was called wax, and then he changed it to sidecar. You know, we did parties at what was that place? That restaurant on top? Damn, on Lake. Remember it was a restaurant? Shark Bar. Shark Bar.
Oh yeah, Shark Bar. Yeah, I remember that place.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Shark Bar.
I'm trying to go way back. You know? Way back. But yeah, sidecar was fun, and it had the little outside part. So Alan King, Steve Price, Greg Gray, Andre Hatchett, Charles Matlock.
Great.
I never DJed.
You've hosted a lot. All right, so I got a question for you as a woman promoter. Why not do it solo? You seem like you were doing all right by yourself. Then you got Charles as a partner, and later on, your partner now, Coco. So what's the deal with that? Why have a partner at all?
Well, you know, it was always because of what was going on in my life at the time. You know, because I always had so many other things going on. I felt that I needed assistance, you know, to make it a little easier for me, you know. And that's pretty much why. I mean, you know, it didn't bother me to have a partner. So that was pretty much the only reason why, I guess. Don't make life hard on yourself. Okay, so
I'm with you.
That's a good philosophy. I like that.
Yeah, and no, Charles is great. You know, we've worked together a lot in the past.
Right. So, and it came to a point where Charles and I, we were like, I was like, Charlie, I quit. You know, I was like, dude, I'm married. I'm pregnant. I can't. You want me to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then go to the other party and then plug? Okay, it's so over. It's just over. I can't do it anymore. And so I was gonna quit. He said, Ronda, you can't quit. You gotta quit. I was like, I'm gonna quit. But I couldn't, because I loved it so much. I couldn't do it.
It's a lot of hustle. Go ahead,
It's
Lauren.
a lot of hustle. I think your longevity is something that makes you legendary, which is why you're here today. Why, you know, after, you know, I was at a point in my world where I was having events with several different groups of people over the course of the mid 90s and early 2000s. And I thought to myself that this type of work was unsustainable as an adult, you know, with the career. It's very difficult to sustain. Certainly when you're dealing with Europeans and trying to, you know, operate in their spaces. So I always felt like the only way I could do this long term would be to have my own club, my own restaurant.
Right.
Did you think about doing that? Had you done that? What happened? Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah. So people often ask, you know, don't you want your own club? You know, aren't you going to get your own club? And I go, well, you know, there are pros and cons with that. You know, I don't have to worry about anything by not having my club. You know, I come in and I do what I do, and then I'm out, you know, and then I can go next door and have a party there the next day. I can bounce around and still not be responsible for any type of licensings or brick and mortar or anything. I'm just a freelance floating promoter. That's the good thing about it. The bad thing is I probably won't make the money that a club owner would if they operate 5 to 7 days out the week. No, I don't. But then I don't have staffing and all those things that come with it. There was a time that I thought about getting my own club back when I was younger, probably 20 years ago or 30 years ago. But at my age now, I'm still trying to think, oh, maybe, maybe not. But, who knows? We'll see what happens. I wouldn't exit out totally right now, but the promotion.
Do you think you could do it if someone said, "Look, Rhonda, here's some money, go for it.
Oh yeah,
make this happen."
I think I could. I think I could.
I think you could too.
Easier now since I'm more laid back.
Yeah.
And it may be easier, but I don't, now I would need a partner for real because I'm not going to sit there all day by myself and watch everything. But no,
Yeah.
it will have to be quick though, because I plan to. I don't want to do it when I'm 75.
We're not getting any younger. I get it.
It will have to be quick though. But I did think about it at some time ago. But the promotion was the job in itself. It was just that's what I like to do. It's like people like to DJ, but not necessarily want to own a club. I like to promote, but not necessarily want to own a club. It's kind of like that. Hairstylists like to do hair, don't want to be bothered with owning a shop. So it's just something else that I did. It was a hobby that I loved, and I wouldn't even call it a hobby. It was a business that I loved.
That's a business. That's a business.
Can you talk a little
business and no one can keep up with the promoter.
Can you talk a little bit without giving away trade secrets? Talk a little bit about the mechanics of promoting. I mean, obviously you built a brand around your events and experiences. But can you share a little bit about what the promotion maybe then entailed and what it entails today?
Well, back in the day, to be a promoter, it was hard work. It was grinding. You had to get out there on the streets. You really had to have had a personality for people to even know who you are or wanted to be where you are. It was the promoter that drew the people to them. It wasn't a DJ. I never had to listen to DJ. I never even told you who a DJ was. Hey, Ronda Flowers is having a party. Okay, let's go to Ronda Flowers' house. Nobody cared who the DJ was or what else was going on, this and that. It was about your personality. If you were liked, if you were kind to people, nobody wanted to go to an asshole's house, and kick it with them. So it was you. You had to have the personality. And so then later on, you had to start grinding when you started going into the clubs and the lofts and the basement parties, the underground parties. Then you had to do a little bit more grinding with the advertising, the posters. People respected you when they saw you on Stony Island tying up a poster up on a tree, on a pole, and I'm cutting my hands, tying up stuff in the winter, mind you, and so it was that, and you still had the flyers, and you still had to go out to people's homes and put them on the cars and so forth. And that was still early 90s, and a lot of people have never had that time to do that. No one will ever experience that today with the internet, and before the internet, I would have little parties over. I didn't call them smoke outs though, but it could have been one. But I would
not officially
come over, and we would have what we call, check this out, Kevin and Lauren, stick and lick parties. Now, what's a stick and lick party, right? You're wondering, what is a stick and lick party? A stick and lick party is when people will come over to my house and they will lick and stick, but it just sounds they will lick the stamp and stick it to the back of the flyer so we can send it out in the mail. So you had to stamp in the label on the flyer, mail it. So you had to feed them, give them some liquor and all that, and let them in the party free if they come over and stick and lick.
I forgot all about the mail. The mail. We actually used the
mail. Did you forget about the mail?
I forgot all about the mail. Oh my word!
All your addresses is in the database, and we'll print them out. If we did we print them out? Yeah, we were able to print out by then. In the 90s, we would print them out. So you had to take the label off. You had to stick it onto the flyer. We didn't really lick the stick. We didn't really lick the stamp, but it was just a cute name. And you wet the stamp and then you put it on the flyer. You would go to Kinko's and you'll make the flyer.
Yes.
And you'll lay them 4 on a sheet, turn it over, zip, 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 zip out. Then you cut it. You got these square flyers and you mail them. So for 6 hours, you had a party at your house, sticking and licking, talking stuff and doing all of that. You know, so hey, Ron, you need some help with the flyers? You get a meal. You get some liquor. Why not?
That's a great question, Lori. Who was invited to the Ronda Stick and Lick party?
A lot of people chimed in already. They're like, "Yeah, I remember that."
Okay, I want to smoke out. I want to go to the Stick and Lick. You know.
My gosh,
you are revealing the grind for real.
Yes, listen. I was on the promotion crew for Vertigo, so I remember those cold nights, hanging stuff to the poles, and we had many of those. Oh, and 95th Street,
waiting for them to be finished. You know, it's like, what do you mean they're not finished? You know, get 200 posters to tie up wire.
Yes, yeah, we use wire. And sometimes you put them all up. You spend all night doing that, and the next day, half of them are gone because kids would take them for like your souvenirs. You know,
souvenirs. Oh, the city had tear them down.
Yeah, city had tore them down. Yeah, it's crazy.
It got so bad that one year they would fine the club. The club would have to pay a fine if they found your poster up on a pole because you couldn't advertise for free on city property.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
The city of Chicago tried so hard. To
from anywhere
to kill house music. I mean, you couldn't do underground. You couldn't put a poster up. They just did not.
They did not like black people. They did not like people. They waited till Harold Washington died, and then it was like, okay, all this stuff got to stop.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all political.
Today, Kevin, the whole thing on promotion. Well, you know, everyone uses the internet as though that's all it takes, you know, and it's really more than that still. It's still about who's behind that button, who's behind that name. It's not just going to be that name. It's just not going to be that button. It's still who is that person. You know, I asked my daughter and her friends, what would make you go to one party over another? And they simply said, oh, it all depends on who's giving it. I said, oh, is that it? She said, yeah, it depends on who's giving it. So it still has to go back to who you are. Yeah. So you still have to have that, you know, personality and so forth.
I agree. Well, that's a conversation that comes up a lot, you know, is it the DJ or is the promoter? And there are some promoters, you know, we've talked about this on the show, who are like, I'm only about promoting DJs. And so if a DJ can bring his own crowd, then what have you. And I kind of get that, but I feel like I don't know if it's a chicken and an egg thing. I think if you're a really good promoter, it doesn't matter who the DJ is. Right. Because people come for the promoter. They know that they're going to have an experience because of the person who's putting it together.
Right. And you know your promoter is going to bring you some good music.
Absolutely.
You know? So you know I'm going to go with that one because I don't know who's DJing, but I know the music is going to be good because they always have great DJs. You know, you can always just say they always have great DJs. And then when you get there, it's that, who's that DJ? Who's that DJ? You know? Who is that? You know? So, yeah. So,
with you, sis. I agree.
All of those parties and all those years, like I said, in the beginning, I didn't listen to DJ. You know, it wasn't until DJing became the thing, you know?
No, I agree.
The thing. And then it became, DJ became the thing. So you go with whatever's happening. So if the DJ is the thing now, then yeah, we're gonna promote the thing now, which is the DJ, you know. So it just goes like that. I mean, you know, we know
The
we're
DJ
gonna
was, yeah. I mean, the DJ was like, what? Listen, there were many of us who worked so like that was a job. You know, you did it 3-4 nights a week,
yeah,
and
exactly.
people, it wasn't like you were the star of the show. In many of the clubs where I was a resident, people didn't pay attention to the DJ. I have no pictures. You know, people weren't standing around taking pictures of you. They were there for the party, and the DJ was just like the bartender. The DJ was like the bartender. Like if you like, they had good drinks, they had good music. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of part of it.
Right.
So,
This
very different time.
DJ music, host, you know. Then when the DJ, jamming,
to be at Red Dog, you just went to Red Dog. You know what I mean? Like that.
It was Friday night at Red Dog. I didn't know who was DJing.
Didn't always know.
So listen, I want to. I know you promised your daughter.
Did we lose Lori? I think we did. Lori, did we lose you?
What'd you say, Lauren?
Oh no, Lori, don't worry about that, Lori.
Okay. Our daughter was like, "How long you gonna be in here?"
I know because I needed her light because my room is so dark.
Well, we don't keep you too much longer because we want to do a little
club, mommy. I mean, why is your room so dark?
That's right. Come on.
The disco lights going on now.
That's right. That's right. So
I wanted my red room with my red wall. I told Lori I wanted to be in my red room with my blue chair with my velvet chair, but it was too dark. So.
Yeah, like you have that lounge experience.
Like we had the party. Like we had the party.
So
no lights overhead.
You, Kevin, you mentioned the pub crawl, but you know, I really miss the 31st Street beach parties that we had.
Yes.
Let me tell you a little story about 31st Street Beach. 31st Street Beach. This is what you know as it is now with the deck and everything. This is Coco and I's second round at that location. So let me see. My daughter graduated in 2018 from college. So when she was in first grade, what year would that be? We were at the beach, at that same beach, having parties. Okay.
Wow. 2000.
Beach having parties when our children were like 6 or 7 years old. So there was no deck. It wasn't called Pier 31. They didn't redo it. It was the old way. So this young gentleman, Justin, owned the concession there. He had heard about us. And he said, hey, y'all want to do some parties over here? I got this concession over here. I talked to the park district. We can have parties. We did parties there that were dynamite. And it was a beach party. And when I tell you it was a beach party, you were sitting on the sand.
Sand in your toes kind of party.
Sand in your toes, honey. I mean, it was a beach party. And it was BYOB, so I would sell cups. So, DJ set up all the sound and everything. And I would walk around and sell cups because I didn't want glass on the beach. I was always thinking about tomorrow, the children playing in the grass, playing in the sand on the beach. I said, why do you all keep coming to the beach with bottles? Oh my God. Got a cup for sale or donation, whichever you want to do. Donation, $5 donation or a cup, or you buy a cup. So that's what I did. So that was fun. And then eventually I got a call, one of those calls from the park district. Oh, so you're the one that's doing the parties at the beach, But yeah.
Tracked you down.
Well, who told you can have parties at the beach? I said, dude, the dude who owns the concession said I can have parties at the beach. I'm plugging up in his thing. You think I'm just setting up shop? So we were told not to do the parties at the beach anymore because the lifeguards couldn't hear their walkie-talkies. And
oh my word,
all that, because they can't hear it on the south side. They can only hear the walkie-talkies on the north side. Only on the north side. North Avenue Beach, they can hear the walkie-talkies. 31st Street, can't hear. I said, okay. So I didn't want to be responsible for a child drowning, so we stopped.
Wow.
And that was that.
Who was setting up your music for that?
It was the best. It was the best ever. The ambience, just the whole sitting on the grass. It was like you were on an island, you know? I mean, because you will be in the sand if you're in the island, you know? Yep.
Who did the music? Who did the sound for you for that?
Back then or now?
Back then.
Probably Coco. Oh, what was it? Yeah. Because we've been partners 20 years. So yeah. So that's
why.
That's about 20 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So Rhonda,
he does it now. That's what's like back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't really loud. It wasn't all of that. It wasn't, but we were there right after work. See, and the beaches aren't closed until 7:00.
Right.
So in that 2 hours, the lifeguards are responsible for whoever's in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But we couldn't stay later because we're out of there at 10:00.
Yeah. It's an amazing party. It's really fun, and I'm missing it. And it reminds me that, COVID has shut down quite a great bit of what you do.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that you've pivoted. You're doing some other stuff now. So talk about how you're dealing with this and what your pivot looks like. And then I want to wrap up. Let's 2-3 minutes of this, and then I want to spend a little time on just giving a little tribute to our dear friend Anji Stone.
Oh, absolutely.
Who passed away. But I want to hear about your pivot, and then I want to invite a couple of folks on.
I have, since I'm no longer promoting on the party scene, I am promoting a new brand of mine called Ronda's Ridiculous Ribs and Waffles.
Oh, wow. Oh, I've seen pictures.
So where's Alan King? Where's Alan? No. So it's going quite well. It's something that I didn't expect to take off like it has. Some people have tasted my ribs. I've made them for years. And then finally one day I said, well, I'm going to make the ribs. And I used to make waffles too. I used to make waffles when we had parties at 39th Street Beach. That's another whole story. It's so many parties, so many stories. But so I said, okay, I'm going to call my friends and say, okay, I'm going to finally make those ribs. You want some? You want to order? People are like, yeah. Okay, so that's how it started. And then from there, it has grown. Like I have to cut people off. It's like, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm sold out to next week, and I don't do a whole lot, but I just do what I can to keep it.
All right, so we're not going to advertise for you because it sounds like you. Do you want us to let people know how they can get some of those ribs?
Well, the cat's out the bag, Lori. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? They just have to inbox me. So if you don't know me, then you can't get it. If you don't know, then you got to ask somebody.
That's just like the smokeout party, man. If you didn't know, you couldn't get in.
Yeah. So the kind of got an exclusive deal.
She's got 2 whole Facebook
pages. Yes, exclusive.
You ain't one of
somebody to know somebody that knows somebody.
Ooh, you find it. If they really want them, they'll find it.
Oh yeah, the ribs are good. Okay, so and I got chicken. I have smoked chicken. And I'm working on my new smoked pizza, but I have to really work on that. I haven't had time to work on that like I wanted to because I can't stop selling the ribs and the chicken. So
you got a lot of fans who are saying exactly what Alan is saying. The bomb. Yummy. All right, so listen. We want to. I could talk to you all night. I really could, Rhonda. I just, you have so many great stories. An hour is never enough. But
we skim the surface.
We just skim the surface.
We'll come back.
Since your Wednesdays are a little bit freed up, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you come back because I want to get a little deeper next time into the promotion game.
Okay.
And what's your secret sauce? I mean, we've heard a little bit about it, no pun intended. But venues, club owners, DJs, your followers, sort of the roster of talent that you've used over the years, the many different ways that you've been able to do it. Because I think as a woman and as a Black woman, and especially as a Black woman who's doing it in Chicago, you've done it right. And you've done it in such a way that really sort of makes us all proud to know you. And we want to say thank you. Thank you for providing the space that you have over the years.
Yes.
I've only done your parties a couple times, and it's always a great memory. I'm like, this is fun. I wish she liked me more and would invite me more. But now I just.
Your story is so important.
I'm kidding. I always enjoyed it. Yes, go ahead.
Your story is so important as sort of just a Black woman business entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. Those are the types of stories that people need to know more about, that become encouraged with, especially in and around the music sort of industry. I think, what you're doing, what you've done over the last 30 years is really so impactful. Yeah. We have to learn more. And there's ways to, we've got to teach young people what's the next step, who's taking, Ronda's next level. What is the next level?
Right.
Actually?
I mean, did I do all this? I'll feel like I did all this for nothing.
There's a book title in the comments, or it could be a documentary. From Smokeouts to Smoke Ribs, the Ronda Flowers.
Always smoking.
Nice. I'm into it. So, Ronda, you're welcome to hang out with us.
Okay.
We're just going to take a few minutes to. I want to bring on one of my friends, Leonard Roy, who was a great friend of Angie Stone. Leonard, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. He is a veteran, so happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, sir. And we wanted to bring you on because, and I think Miko might be joining us. Some other folks might be chiming in, but we want to honor and recognize, a DJ who was very near and dear to our hearts. Who's been on our show a couple of times. He has spun for everybody, everywhere. And, recently moved to Atlanta, moved back to the city, had some health issues, and unfortunately passed away. And that's DJ Anji Stone. And so we want to honor her. We want to remember her. And we wanted to provide, just an opportunity for people who wanted to say a few words to do so. And Leonard, who's been on the show and is a friend of the show, wanted him to just, kick us off and tell us a little bit about our sister, Anji Stone. Anything you want to say, Leonard?
Well, with Angie, her trying to. Oh, say again.
Sorry.
Just got a little feedback. Go ahead.
Oh,
right. Sorry.
Oh, okay. With Angie, her trying to carve her own path and trail in Atlanta. Okay, it wasn't close to easy for her at all. She had a lot of opposition trying to get to where she finally got. And that was at 992 Gallery. I know you remember that place well, Lori.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, she had finally got to where she wanted to be, on the scene in Atlanta, outside of all the, I don't know what word to use, but a lot of pushback. See, Atlanta is a kind of odd city when it comes to the house music thing, and although the DJs that started doing the house thing in Atlanta were from Chicago, she got a lot of pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if it was a female thing or, I don't know what the deal was.
Right.
But I stepped in.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Leonard.
So, hey, well, I stepped in with the look. You're gonna make this happen for yourself. I'm gonna help you because there's no such as anything in my way. It's just that's virtually impossible. So, and she did her thing, and she had like during a House in the Park weekend outside of their events. She had one of the most successful events that they've had down here at the gallery. She had like 150 people or more packed up in there. That was her last summertime party that she did. Well, fall, Labor Day weekend.
So we're getting a lot of outpouring of just heartfelt condolences.
Right.
Angie Stone gone too soon. We want our sister to rest in peace. But she was a bad DJ, and she had a great story to tell, and we had her on the show many times. So I just want to wish her family well. I know that there is. I saw that our sisters. I talked to several people today. Melody Cook, um, her DJ sisters, Nikki Divine, and DJ Alicia. Are putting together, the plans for her services. I'm sure they will make those available. I also saw that there is a collection happening, so that if folks want to support her memorial fund, I put it here, but you can also find it. I think it's circulating around Facebook. There is a way to contribute to that, to help to make her transition as beautiful as she was. So let's put our hearts out there. Let's put our funds if we can. Melody, I know you're feeling the pain. And for many of you who were friends of hers, who were close to her, I just send my condolences to you and to her family. I know she has a son and she has a lot of family members out there. So we love you, we support you, and we got your back. And Leonard, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I know that she was your very good friend, and we spent time together in Atlanta 2 years in a row. And so, I'll miss those times.
Oh yeah, we had a whole bunch of fun, didn't we? A whole bunch of fun. See, and the thing about it, like with me, I can't sit and be broken in half sad. We had too many good times. We had so much fun. So for us to have the fun that we had over the little short, almost 4-year time period, you got to take 1 year off for the COVID. But for those 3 years of the fun that we had, that's a lifetime for some. For some.
Thank you, Jackie Brooke.
You to come down here, you're involved with her movement, and the first time that you came to spin in Atlanta, you were the first person on her list. We gotta get Lori. We gotta get Lori. Like, okay, I'll call Lori. And funny. It went like that every single year.
Well, she's the one who forced me to play on Serato. I didn't like that, but she's like, look,
I know.
If you want to play down here, it's what you got to play. And I'm like, okay. And then I had a good time. Good time.
I'll say it like the guy said in the movie, what was it, Come to America? He's like, if a man wants to name himself Muhammad Ali, then damn it. I told you, I said, bring 2 thumb drives, and I had,
there it is.
You could have plugged in the 2 jump drives, but I mean, you did it. Now, Louis, oh my God.
Yeah, he made it work.
People never stop talking about him down here. It's like, when is he coming back?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to add Miko to the screen. I know we got a smaller and smaller screen, but I wanted to say, Miko, hey, welcome. I know that Angie was a very good friend of yours, and just wanted to give you a couple minutes to say a few words on her behalf.
I just know I'm gonna miss her, and I'm out here and I drive trucks on the road, and I'm telling you, Angie would be up on the phone with me, man, just like keeping me up nights, man, and just keeping me company, man, and just being a great supporter, man, and just I don't know, we grew really, really close. I mean, to the point where we shared some very heartfelt things and things that will go to my grave with me. But she was also a funny person. I
Yeah.
remember. I remember my great joke with her when I first saw. I said, "Oh, you put your little contact lens on. You trying to catch something tonight, huh?" And she's like, you're handsome, but you're not my type." I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." But she's gonna be missed, man. I mean, that was like the
Yes.
hardest call that I got today because I was praying in my mind, in my human mind, feeling like that she's just gonna pull through. But homegoing is a homegoing celebration. Death is a homegoing celebration, and I also have to not be selfish and understand that she was in pain, and I wouldn't want to see her suffer. So I will keep her in my heart, and keep her lifted, her memory.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Miko. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna close out the show, but I wanted to thank Miko, thank Leonard, thank so many of you, Linda Red, Rita, Leslie, Kevin, Tyrone, so many of you who have just chimed in to offer your words of comfort. It means a lot to her friends and family, and this will be repeated throughout the week, so we'll get to hear these words for those who are not tuning in tonight. And I want to just circle back to our guest for the night. We had a lot of fun with you, Rhonda, but it's not over because you got to come back.
Okay.
You promise?
I promise. I'll be back.
We got a lot more to share. So until next week, and I'll let
Thank
you
you for
know we're
having
going to
me.
have anytime. We will see you on the flip. And next week we have Tyrone Mix, who is going to come on and talk about his time at. He had a lot of clubs in Chicago, but if you know who Tyrone Mix is, if you don't know, Google him. And then if you do know, you'll be in for a treat.
Tyrone along with DJ Errol Easy
Yes.
EJ.
So next week will be fun. All right, y'all. Thank you. We'll love you. Appreciate you. Stay safe. Stay COVID safe. Stay warm. Seasons changing, so
Yes.
take
Yes.
extra special care of each other and love each other. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Congratulations to our
Oh, we didn't
new
even say
president
that.
and vice
Oh,
president.
thank you. I do have one last thing to plug before we sign
Yeah.
off. That is Vince Lawrence's movie, From Horns to House, will be on PBS tomorrow. I believe
Tomorrow.
8 or 9. Yes. So definitely tune in.
Oh,
You're
my
going to see a
phone
lot of
started
familiar
ringing.
faces, including yours truly. So please make sure you tune in to
Hey,
Horns to House, Vince Lawrence's masterpiece tomorrow on
Okay.
PBS. All right, y'all. Take care.
we
Love you
need
guys.
Vince has got to come on and talk about
Well,
it.
oh,
Yeah,
good.
he's coming.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Rhonda.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me. All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank
Rhonda.
you. Bye. Thanks, guys.
Leonard,
Bye,
Miko,
Lauren.
be well.
Nico.